Did you know that when it comes to aging, your hands are actually the biggest giveaway? And yet, they are one of the easiest areas to rejuvenate in terms of their appearance because we can plump and hydrate them with our daily practices. So in today's video, I'm going to give you my 5-step strategy to having the healthiest, most hydrated hands in town. So let's think about our hands, because it's almost as if they were designed to dry out, right? We have them in water all the time. They are constantly exposed to UV rays, which age them. And yet we use them without thinking in our work, hobbies, even in communication. And for those reasons, if you're born with a dry skin condition, the hands are often the worst affected. Dry skin leading to eczema, cracks, fissuring, sore, dry scaliness. Now, many of us experienced dry hands for the first time during the pandemic when hand washing became a life-saving intervention that unfortunately did take its toll on many of our skin barriers. So let's explore why dry skin is a particular concern as we head into winter, and then we'll get on with that 5-step strategy. Firstly though, let's think about the skin barrier. You've all heard that term, and why hand washing has such an impact on it. So the skin barrier refers to this specialized part of the epidermis, the outermost part of our skin, called the stratum corneum. And that is made up of what's known as a bricks and mortar structure, meaning you have dead skin cells or corneocytes that are the bricks surrounded by a complex lipid bilayer, the mortar. And that's designed to keep bad stuff out and the good stuff in. Our hands are even more specialized because they contain lots of nerve endings that detect things like vibration and temperature and pain, so they're even more complicated. Now, when we put our hands through frequent hand washing, what is happening is that bricks and mortar wall structure can crumble because we're leaching out elements of the lipid bilayer that maintains the integrity of our stratum corneum. And the result is the barrier becomes imperfect, it becomes impaired, and things can get in that aren't supposed to. That means inflammation driving irritants can creep in, and the more the barrier becomes impaired, the more frequent hand washing you do, the more irritation, inflammation can occur. That is what leads to loss of integrity, which we see as scaling and flaking and potentially these cracks and fissures that can be so uncomfortable, particularly on the digits. Loss of the integrity of the skin barrier also has an impact on the microbiome of the skin. This is this complex family of organisms that lives on the surface of our skin. And when we disrupt that by changes in the stratum corneum, the skin is unable to maintain that lovely, mildly acid pH of around 4.5 to 5. And that can be elevated, especially if we use traditional soap cleansers. What that means is that the friendly bacteria can be crowded out by the less friendly bacteria, typically something like Staphylococcus aureus, which is something we see overgrowing in the context of those who suffer from eczema or dermatitis. And order gets lost and chaos ensues. So that is why we must be super, super precious of our skin barrier. Now, why does this all get so much worse in winter? Well, basically we are dealing with a low humidity situation. So cold air cannot hold moisture, so that's outside. And then you come inside and your central heating is turned on, although maybe not so much this year, guys, the way the energy crisis is going. Either way, low humidity means less water in the surface of our skin, and the enzymes that trigger exfoliation, which is something that we're doing all the time without really noticing, become dysfunctional. So we need a certain amount of water in our skin for those enzymes to work properly. If that doesn't happen correctly, then everything goes wrong, the barrier doesn't work as well, and voila, we have dry, irritated hands. So number one, we need to cleanse with care. I'm obsessive about this anyway, but it's particularly pertinent when it comes to hand care. Now, we need hand cleansers that maintain that pH balance of our skin so that we're not driving alkalization of the skin surface. That's the first thing. And we want it to be low risk for irritancy. So that means avoiding fragrance and avoiding foam. Step number 2 is to use tepid or warm water, never hot. Hot water will further leach out those essential skin lipids, stealing away your skin barrier's vital elements, leaving hands drier than they would otherwise be. And it's important to realize that it's not the temperature of the rinse that matters, it's the duration. So rinsing hands plentifully with tepid water will do the job. And number 3, when you're drying damp skin, always pat, do not rub. The number of people who almost view this drying step as an exfoliation unnecessary and will definitely deplete barrier function further. So remember to protect them outdoors. This is so important in cold weather. Gloves will help trap a layer of air between the fabric and your skin, ensuring a slightly higher humidity, which helps keep them moist. They also provide additional UV protection, which is great when you're at altitude. And do think about using sunscreen all through the year. A hydrating SPF can be a great way to ensure that you're multitasking and not using unnecessary layers, and do make it water resistant to increase the chances of it sticking around as you go about your everyday. Moisturize after every wash. Now, please be practical. There are endless hand creams out there to choose from. Find the one that allows you to function after you've applied it. So seek out occlusive ingredients that are elegant on the skin and absorbs rapidly. So look for squalene, look for shea, look for some of the oils like mango seed and avocado. I'm a big fan of both of those. They give nice skin feel, but they won't leave hands so sticky and tacky that you're unable to open the door and you're scared of touching your hair. So you want to find something that you like using, so you use it repeatedly. Occlusives trap water in the skin for longer, so give you nice long-lasting hydration. And do try skipping fragrance. This won't have any additive benefits, and it will definitely increase the irritation factor potentially for your hands. I think that finding the right hand cream is almost a bit like finding the right sunscreen. You want to find the one that you actively enjoy using. That is how you build a habit. The final tip is to boost hydration overnight. This is a great time to repair the damage done by the day and to look for ingredients that will do this, like niacinamide and ceramides, which help replenish the barrier, the lipid components of that. One way to boost hydration overnight is to use occlusion with cotton gloves. So apply your favorite product generously. And I would definitely tend to go richer at night than you might do during the day in terms of texture, and apply the gloves over the top for hands that are properly hydrated overnight and smooth and supple in the morning. Now, if you implement all those steps together, they should keep your hands winter-proofed. But if those steps together aren't working for you, you may well need expert help. So I'd go and see your doctor or a dermatologist to get more help with them. So I hope you enjoyed that video, guys. If you did, the one I want you to watch next is my video on how to repair your skin barrier. This is one of my most watched videos, and it's essential viewing if you're someone who's prone to dry skin in winter. I hope you love it. See you again soon.